Most rulers earn their legacy with armies, alliances, or empire building. Oda Nobunaga did it with gunpowder, mercenaries, and an unapologetic taste for chaos. Where others negotiated, he burned temples. Where others prayed, he slaughtered monks. Where others hesitated, he stormed Kyoto and crowned a puppet emperor. And somehow, that's not even the craziest part. This is the man who set Japan on fire, then dared the ashes to rise. And just like that, a century of war ended with a man who feared nothing, forgave no one, and stopped for nobody. Oda Nobunaga, the Demon King, the man who almost unified Japan and burned everything in his way to try. In 1534, Japan was less a country and more a bar fight with flags. The Ashikaga shogunate ruled in name only. In practice, every regional daimyo just did whatever the hell they wanted. Samurai were glorified gangsters. Castles burned weekly, and loyalty lasted until someone made a better offer. Enter Nobunaga. Born the son of a minor warlord in Owari province. Not the most powerful clan. Not the richest. But Nobunaga didn't care. From day one, he didn't act like a samurai. He drank with peasants, wore weird clothes, and once threw ceremonial incense at his father's funeral just to see what people would do. Spoiler, they panicked. He didn't play by the rules. He studied firearms instead of swordsmanship. He promoted low-born soldiers who showed talent and mocked his elders who didn't. By 18, he was already infamous as the Fool of Owari. By 24, he wasn't a fool anymore. He was a warlord. And not just any warlord, the kind that beat a 40,000-man army with 3,000 troops and a few well-placed bullets. Because while other samurai still fantasized about horseback duels and poetry, Nobunaga was laying the foundation for a military-industrial revolution. Let's talk about guns. In 1543, Portuguese traders shipwrecked on a tiny Japanese island. They brought muskets. Most daimyo treated them like exotic trinkets. Not Nobunaga. He bought them, mass-produced them, trained his infantry in rotating volleys. And when he faced the legendary Takeda cavalry at Nagashino in 1575, he didn't flinch. Takeda Katsuyori charged with 10,000 mounted samurai, yelling war cries and expecting glory. Nobunaga's men stood behind wooden palisades, dry powder, and perfect timing. Volley fire, reload, volley fire, reload, volley fire. Within hours, the elite Takeda force was erased. Nobunaga had just rewritten warfare in Japan. The age of the noble mounted warrior? Dead. The age of firearms and organized brutality? Welcome. And he wasn't done. Here's where it gets dark and fast. Nobunaga didn't just fight other daimyo. He went after the religious institutions too. In 1571, he ordered the burning of Mount Hiei, a sacred Buddhist complex with thousands of warrior monks. The monks thought they were untouchable, holy, protected by centuries of tradition. Nobunaga thought they were armed fanatics standing in his way. He surrounded the mountain, cut off escape, set everything on fire. Monks, nuns, children, civilians, didn't matter. Over 3,000 dead in a single act of purification by flame. The message was clear: you either bow or you burn. This wasn't a warlord. This was a man on a mission, ripping down the past so the future could crawl out. And then he crowned an emperor. Not because he believed in the throne, but because he needed a symbol and a puppet. He marched into Kyoto, installed Emperor Ogamachi, then forced the emperor to legitimize his conquests. Not even Tokugawa or Hideyoshi dared that kind of political theater. But Nobunaga did, because he didn't want to be shogun. He wanted to be God. By 1580, Oda Nobunaga controlled more of Japan than anyone in centuries. His enemies were dead or kneeling. He built roads, standardized currency, and opened trade with Europe. He even wore Western clothes, drank red wine, and hosted Jesuit missionaries. Not because he believed in Christ, but because they brought guns. He was modern, brutal, and unstoppable. And he knew it. He started calling himself Tenka Fubu, rule the realm by force. His banners flew across central Japan. Daimyo whispered his name like a curse. Commoners whispered it like a prophecy. But when you climb that fast, there's only one way left to go. And someone very close to Nobunaga was already sharpening the knife. June 1582. Kyoto. Nobunaga arrives at Honnō-ji Temple with a small guard, expecting rest. He'd just defeated the Takeda, and his top general Akechi Mitsuhide was in command of nearby reinforcements. Then the gates closed. Mitsuhide's troops stormed the temple. Surprise, betrayal, fire. Nobunaga realized what was happening and laughed. According to legend, he grabbed his sword, cut down as many attackers as he could, then retreated into the temple and set it on fire. He chose self-immolation over surrender. Flames consumed the wooden halls as Nobunaga's voice echoed through Kyoto one last time. The man who had burned temples, killed gods, and conquered kingdoms died in the same flames he once commanded. The Demon King was dead, and Japan would never be the same. Nobunaga didn't live to see Japan unified, but he made it inevitable. His surviving generals, Toyotomi Hideyoshi and later Tokugawa Ieyasu, would finish the job. But they did it with his tactics, his weapons, and his ruthless clarity. Nobunaga proved that tradition was a choice, that loyalty could be bought, burned, or buried, and that sometimes, to build an empire, you have to first set the old world on fire. Was he a hero? A tyrant? A visionary? A sociopath? Yes. That's the thing about Oda Nobunaga. He didn't want your admiration. He wanted your obedience. And for a while, he got it. If you want more stories where power rewrites the rules, like and subscribe. Because history isn't made by those who follow. It's made by those who burn the map and walk through the fire.